Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single-barrel-only liquor store. This store is owned and operated by Steve Cailee and Jim Fosnot. Get signed up for their email distribution list to find out when the store will be opening, what their hours will be, and most importantly, what they will have in inventory at abvbarrelshop.com. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebartogo.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we complete a bracket challenge to determine the coolest thing about Jack Daniels. My name is Miss Beka Sue. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Cailee, along with our special guests, Cailee Baker, Jim Fosnot, and Tim Swyatt.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Howdy.
Hey.
Oh, so yeah, we're going to have a fun day today playing a bracket challenge. We don't seem to do that as much as we used to. So this will be fun. We're going to go through and pick out some cool things about Jack Daniels and find out which is the coolest. We'll get to that, though, after the break. For right now, Tim said there's something you want to talk about. What is that, Tim?
You know, I'm kind of going on my my movie scene theme because I created quite a ruckus about Titanic, and we really separated the people who've seen a spectacular movie and who have not.
That got a lot of comments, so yes.
That was polarizing. So what scene in a movie always makes you laugh every time you watch it?
Oh, I got a good one. The scene in Bridesmaids where they go and they eat some like sketchy food, and then they're going to a dress fitting. Yeah, and then you're going to a dress fitting, and then they all start shitting their pants, and like she's in the dress and shitting in the middle of the street.
Oh, she almost made it, and then she just sinks down a broken.
Yeah, she's like, "It's happening! It's happening!" And then she's like, "It's coming out like lava!"
Oh God. So Cailee, 2 totally different movies, but the theme is kind of the same. I'll do this as ha 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 ha. Cheers, shitter's full.
Yes,
full.
That is my all-time favorite.
You can't see that and not laugh, and then think about someone maybe that exact interaction has them, but you know who that person is in your life. Have one of those. You have a cousin Eddie in your life.
Yeah,
and you think about that guy when you see that shitter full, and so.
So we're going with the shit theme right now.
Yeah, right now we're
keep it going.
Tim, what about? Oh no, Tim asked. So Miss Beka Sue.
Yeah.
Miss Beka Sue.
Go ahead, Miss Beka Sue.
I almost broke protocol there.
What do I always laugh at in movies?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
You watch a lot of sci-fi. You're not watching.
I know. I watch so many different things. Like I don't know. I laugh all the time at so many of them. It's kind of a hard question.
You had texted me this the other day. I'll step in. Whenever she watches Blending is Trending, when Chet Zoller gets interviewed, she starts laughing because she knows that Bo's pants are about ready to drop in his front yard.
I did not ever say that.
Well, I just wanted to put a plug for the movie since you were going to take your turn there. So watch Blending is Trending, and no, as you see Chet Zoller there, moments later, Bo's pants fall. And also, Bo had pissed him off during the time, and I won't talk about that. So that's a story I'll never tell. Bo will tell you that story. I'll never tell that story. But Bo pissed him off, and Bo was like trying to make up to it. He's like, "Oh, these are cool books you got. I'd like to buy one of those." And he's thinking Chet's going to sell him one, or maybe even give him one, And Chet says, "Yeah, you can go to Amazon." He's got cases. He's got behind him. You look at it closely. He's got like 8 cases, floor to ceiling, stacked behind him. And he shows Bo the book because Bo's like, "Oh, I want to see your book." And he looks through. He's like, "Oh, this is so cool. I'd love to have one of these." And he's like, "Go to Amazon."
Like
for not telling the story, that's great of you to tell the story, Steve.
No, that's not the story. I'll tell you the story off the air, and you'll see why I don't tell the story. That's why Chet wouldn't. That's the result. He'd piss Chet off.
That's why he wouldn't give him a book.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he did. Has anybody here heard that story about why?
No, I'm ready.
Well, we'll do it.
Let's get through this
on the break. We can do it on the break. On the break. I'll edit that out. I have to edit the break. So, all right. Tim. Jim. We got to get Jim first before we go back to Tim. Sorry, Jim. Almost skipped you twice.
I don't watch a lot of comedies, but what makes me laugh every time I see it is I'm going to go back to a Steve Akeley movie, The Kindred Spirit. Steve holding the curtain back at New Riff.
Oh, yeah. How does Bo not edit that out? There I am.
And then the best part is that in the credits, you're listed in the credits for that.
Curtain holder.
Curtain holder. So that makes me laugh every time I see it. So that's my favorite.
I can't believe he left it in, and then of course I wrote the credits, so I was like, I get credit for that. That's on screen. That's on screen. Yeah, I get my SAG card because of this. So
yeah. So I'm going to go with that because that makes me laugh every time I see it.
Yeah. So Tim, how about you?
Just to answer Beka's, I was talking to Royce's younger brother when I was at the distillery the last time, and he was saying that Beka just loves Jar Jar Binks, and every time Jar Jar Binks comes on the screen in Star Wars, she just laughs.
Oh, you love Jar Jar Binks?
So angry.
That gets her laughing every time. No, to me, I always fall back.
Hate it.
Fall back to the Blues Brothers.
Oh, the Blue, a lot of good.
Let's fall back to the Blues Brothers and the scene when they go visit the Penguin. They go see the nun.
Love it.
And it's just you see him say, "Well, I guess you're really up shit creek." She smacks Elwood with the ruler, Jake with the ruler, and he says, "Well, we offered to help you. You need the money. We said we'd give it to you, and you're really up shit creek." Smacks him again. They start beating the shit out of him with the ruler, then breaks it over Elwood's head. Then she starts hitting him with a pointer, and they're all falling down the stairs. I just crack up every time. That one I go back to because that's my.
That movie.
That one to me, every time I see it, I got to stop and laugh because just that interaction between the two and the slapstick humor between Elwood and Jake or Belushi and Aykroyd is just spectacular. That whole movie's pretty damn good. Sweet Home Chicago, the whole shebang, but that scene right there with the Penguin, and then she levitates back into her office, just really seals the deal there.
John Candy, Orange Whip. John Candy's great. All right, it is time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start this time with Tim. I don't know.
Yeah, let's just get it out of the way. I am drinking this is going to be a brand new bottle. This is a Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye.
Okay, this has got to win. It's new. Nothing. Not even a noise.
Sounds great over here.
No.
My screw top might be better than that.
Yeah. All right, Cailee, you're next. What do you got?
I have some Gentleman Jack.
Okay.
So I'm not going to win any cork pops tonight because it's a screw top.
Okay. All right, Jim.
Still better sound effects than Tim's, though.
Yeah, true. You have the lead right now. Jim, what do you got?
Going from Booker's. We'll see what happens. It's about half full.
Okay, that's our lead. A low, sloshy, but I'll tell you what, I'm not going to throw out much at him. I've got limousine rye. This is a 100 milliliter bottle with a real cork, though. So here we go. Cork pop, quiet on the set. 100 milliliter, please, in the house.
Oh,
pretty quiet. It's cute. Bottle kill, though. Bottle kill. Here we go.
Last show pour.
There you go. Last show pour. It's done.
Well.
All right, Miss Beka Sue, what do you got?
I've got some Blue Run here.
Okay, that's the winner right there. Beka Sue wins.
Mike Muffle finally didn't kill you.
Yeah, no, she did fine there, so that was good. I
think I figured it out.
Cheers, gang.
Cheers.
Congratulations.
Cheers.
Limousine rice, good. That's good. I like that stuff. All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, it's going to be bracket challenge time. We're going to find out what is the coolest thing about Jack Daniels. We'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot in the greater St. Louis area. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only focuses on single barrels. We aren't open just yet, but our plan is to have the most diverse single barrel offerings from our many friends in the world of bourbon. By signing up for a weekly email, you will know our entire inventory we have on hand. In addition to single barrels, we'll have a tasting bar and a gift shop featuring logo merchandise for both the shop and the ABV network, as well as a full curriculum of bourbon education classes. Additionally, we'll use the gift shop to feature products from our partners in the world of bourbon, companies like Art Eatable Chocolates and Old Man Bay Signs. Head over to ABV Barrel Shop to sign up for our email and text distribution list so you can stay in the know. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent visits to Kentucky. Today, he's leading the way for young distillers making their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery combines family history, a look at what makes their products unique, and of course a tasting through their whiskeys, moonshines, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com and visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
Hello, this is Danny Kennard, and I'm recording on the ABV Network.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're going to figure out what's the coolest thing about Jack Daniels.
Yes, we are. So here's the contenders. Number one, the man himself, Jack Daniel. Number two, the square bottle. 3, the iconic label. 4, the Tennessee Squires Club. 5, Tennessee Whiskey Designation. 6, the distillery. 7, Rockstar Connections. And finally, 8, merchandising. Okay, 8 cool things. Here's how they're going to match up. Here's our matchups. The iconic label will take on the distillery. The man himself takes on Rockstar Connections. Merchandising takes on the Tennessee Squires Club. And finally, the square bottle will take on the Tennessee Whiskey Designation. Looking for what is the coolest thing. So as we do these pairings, you're going to say, what do you think is cooler? Up first is going to be Cailee, round number 1. The iconic label or the distillery? What is cooler?
Probably the iconic label, because I feel like if you know Jack Daniels, you know what the label looks like. You probably have no idea what the distillery looks like.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, it's amazing how many other, mock products will use that, some sort of version of that. And you instantly know. You could be across the room, barely able to see, and you know what a Jack Daniels label is.
Yeah, I have a smooth as Tennessee whiskey, sweet as strawberry wine sticker that's in the Jack Daniels logo, shape on the back of my car.
Yeah. There you go.
Everybody's got one.
All right. The iconic label goes up 1-0. Tim, what do you think? The label or the distillery itself?
Trying to look up the diameter of the size of that still. I thought it was 24 feet. Is it that large? It's a ridiculously sized diameter on that thing. It's not 24 feet, but it's ridiculously
that'd be
huge.
If it was,
wouldn't it be?
Imagine feeding that monster.
Is it like a 72-inch or something like that?
It's something, I don't know what it's what's the largest width, isn't it? It's like,
well, it's got to be bigger. 84 is the biggest one I know of at Bernheim.
You're right.
It'll be bigger than that. So yeah, but again, not 24 feet.
No, it's not 24 feet, right?
But that would be cool though.
That'd be something else. I've been to the distillery, and I think Cailee, you said it best on the last one. You can't even buy merchandise there. They push it back out to the local town so the town can survive, and they have a local simply supports local businesses. They allow that to go around, but still, it comes down to that label and that font. And the everything's there. You know exactly what you're drinking. And I think Stevie said it best. So you look across you walk into a bar, you know exactly what you're seeing. You're seeing Jack Daniels black and white.
They have two 76-inch columns.
That's what it is.
76 inches. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have four 54-inch.
That's why that Bernheim is so special, though, because it's the biggest still out there. Andrew Webrink, who loves the stills. That's what he always asks you about. He got that question wrong when we did that. That's what he busted out on a Bourbon Millionaire. Amazing to me. Amazing. We'll have to play that when we do one of our next greatest, where Webrink loses on that. He's still mad about that to this day. Why would you ask a stupid question like that? I'm like, you ask me all the time. How do you not know what the biggest one is? How would you not know that? So crazy. All right. The iconic label is up 2-0 over the distillery. It's interesting, Jim. It's going to be to you next. You can end this. That distillery, boy, the man himself can still be felt there. I mean, this is where he's at. This is where he roamed. You see the safe that he supposedly kicked. You see the cave. That's why he chose that place. There's a lot going on there. What do you think? What's cooler, the label or the distillery?
So the distillery itself is beautiful. It's a beautiful property. It's unbelievable to walk around there and you kind of feel the history of what's going on there. But like everyone said, like that label is just so recognizable. Like whether it's on a T-shirt, on a poster, on a bumper sticker, or on a bottle, you know that as soon as you see it.
Yeah,
and I don't think the average,
or in a rock concert T-shirt where they're just using that style. You're like, that's Jack Daniels. That's not
right.
the Charlie Daniels band. That's Jack Daniels. Yeah.
Well, and not everybody knows about the safe, and not everybody knows about the cave, and that's why you picked the distillery. So it's just
if you're
more iconic.
Distillery, it's fantastic. But what's cooler? That label is just it's part of pop icon, whatever. So I'm gonna go with the label. I'm gonna close it out.
Round 2, you're next, Tim, as iconic label moves on. The man himself, Mr. Jack Daniel, or the Rockstar Connection. So many bands. I mean, I saw Van Halen and Michael Anthony's got the old bass that looks like a
Mr. Jack Daniels.
Yeah. So Lemmy. You think about Lemmy or Keith Richards, with the Jack Daniels bottle. I mean, it's definitely a big part of rock and roll. But what do you think, the man himself or the Rockstar Connections?
It wouldn't have happened without the man himself. But what's coolest is that pop rock star attitude and lifestyle that comes along with it.
Okay.
I'm going with that.
The Rockstar Connections. Jim, what do you think? The man himself or the Rockstar Connections?
I'm going to piggyback on Tim here. I just think if you think of everyone from Jim Page to Keith Richards / Mick Jagger, they've all got some connection to Jack Daniels, and the amount of publicity that they get with that. As much as I love the story of Jack Daniels, most people don't know that story, but they know they're rock stars with that bottle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, you talk about a guy who invented personal branding. Where you're here's a guy 5'2" or whatever, he's got the big long mustache, he's got the duster coat and the hat. He's like, when you meet him, he wants you to remember it. The things that I'm kind of copying off of today, where you want people when you meet them to remember you. And he was doing that before anybody. He's creating a personal brand out of himself, which is pretty cool.
Original rock star.
You're both old man angry. Like he was old man angry too.
He was definitely old man angry.
He kicked his safe and killed himself.
Yeah. All right, so the man himself is down 2-0. Beka, it's right now. It's in your hands. You can end this thing, or you can give Jack Daniel life in this game.
I thought I was going to go a different way on this, but I'd say the Rockstar thing is just. That's part of what makes Jack Daniels cool.
Yeah,
so
it definitely is. It's a Kid Rock. They just go on and on. How many people?
Mm-hmm.
They're up on stage with a bottle of Jack Daniels. It's rock and roll. It really is. Yeah.
Saying about it.
Yeah. All right. Round number 3. Jim, you're first. The merchandising or the Tennessee Squires Club. And anybody who's not familiar with that, you think of Kentucky Colonels. Well, that's not just a bourbon thing. That's, the state of Kentucky. And you don't even have to be involved in bourbon to be that. Tennessee Squires is they're a similar type of club where you have to be nominated by someone else. You have to get, approved, but it's just Jack Daniels drinkers. That's who Tennessee Squires are. So they've got their own type of club that's similar to the Colonels, and then the merchandising of the Jack Daniels name and images and all that stuff.
So the Tennessee Squires is a cool thing if you're a true, kind of Jack Daniels enthusiast nerd. But overall, the merchandising. That Jack Daniel's done a fantastic job what they do, whether it's T-shirts or the bottles or cars or whatever else. They have mastered the merchandising, and so I'm going to go with the merchandising for sure.
All right, Miss Beka Sue, what do you think, the merchandising or the Tennessee Squires?
It's an easy one. Definitely the merchandising.
Merchandising. That means merchandising jumps out 2-0. I'll say this, and it's not going to get my vote, but I'll say this: the Squires is cool, and it's a way to ingratiate your customers. Get a customer for life is make a special club that people are interested in, and they take that so seriously. And here's a perfect example: Andrew Webrink, our friend. Lost his father at a young age. He was a Jack Daniels drinker. He was a proud Tennessee Squire. He loved Jack Daniels. And then Andrew ultimately, because his mom also lost his life, ultimately got adopted by his aunt and uncle and was raised by them. And his uncle was a Jack Daniels drinker. And then today, it means a lot to Andrew to become a Tennessee Squire because his dad was one. And but his uncle will not nominate him because he says, I'm not going to nominate you because you don't drink Jack Daniels yourself. Your dad drank it, yes. But I'm not going to give you that just because and if you're listening to this, don't be like, well, I'll nominate Andrew because I'm one. He doesn't want that. He'd like to get it through his uncle. He'd like to do it honestly, but his uncle says, you got to do your time. You got to drink it. You got to show some brand loyalty, and it's a family thing. And so Webrink's been shut out. So it's a cool thing that people care about it that much that they do something like that. I think that's pretty cool. That being said, the merchandising is just so over the top. Nobody does merchandising in whiskey than Jack Daniels. And I'm talking about anything in the world. It's not just American whiskey. It's not bourbon. It's worldwide. Jack Daniels is just it. I mean, they do everything. So I got to say the merchandising is the cooler thing. But I did want to tell that story. Round number 4, Miss Beka Sue, you're first. The square bottle or the Tennessee whiskey designation? What is cooler?
The square bottle is cool. Like, I mean, it's recognizable. Like people, there's literally just cutouts of that, and you know exactly what it is.
Right.
Like
I'll even get offended, and I'm not a Jack Daniels. I'm not a Tennessee Squire. I'm not a Jack Daniels head. But when I see another one like that, Slow and whatever it is that had the square bottle, or Ezra Brooks, I'm like, they're ripping off Jack Daniels. When I see it on the shelf, I'm offended because I'm like, they're ripping them off. So it is that iconic that you don't even have to. And then the Tennessee whiskey, which they built a whole company around the fact that, hey, we're our own thing. I don't know. What do you think's cool?
Yeah, it's a tough one, but I'm going to go with the bottle on this.
The bottle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that bottle, again, same type of thing. I think the most iconic bottle in whiskey is the Maker's bottle, but Jack Daniels is special too. Now we see a lot of people copying it in that, and not a lot, but you see it happening. But again, I do the same. So I just think it's that important to the brand, and I think the bottle is part of what they do too. So I'm going to say the bottle as well. Cailee, it goes to you next. The bottle or the Tennessee whiskey designation? What's cooler?
So I'm also going to go with the bottle and just close this one out because we've been talking about the merchandising, the branding, the black label, all of that is part of merchandising. I mean, it's all been passed down through generations, and like the merchandising team has just done a great job of keeping that in the public eye. And I honestly think it's up there with the Maker's bottle, if not more popular than the Maker's bottle even.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
All right. So the final 4 looks like this: the iconic label versus the Rockstar Connections, merchandising versus the square bottle. That's our final 4. Iconic label versus Rockstar Connections. I'm first. What do I think is cooler? It's cool to be in the hands of that many rock stars. And you know what? As big as Jack Daniels is, they don't have enough money to make that happen. As many as drink that stuff. You know why a lot of them have it? Because they just like the product. That it is rock and roll. They feel like they've made it when they're up on stage drinking that bottle. So they put themselves in that good of a position. Not all of the people that you see up there drinking it are on the payroll. They're just fans. So I think the Rockstar Connections is cool, but man, that iconic label. It's just one of the coolest things. I think you could wipe all the names off there and all that and just show all the rest of the things that are on that label, take the Jack Daniels off and everything else and say, what is this product? And I bet you could get 85%.
I think 99%.
It'd be a lot. And not even whiskey fan. People, what is this brand? And maybe more so than any other product out there. I think that's that iconic. I'm going to go with the iconic label just because of that. Cailee, what do you think? The iconic label or the Rockstar Connections? What's cooler?
I'm going with the iconic label as well because Rockstar Connections, I mean, it's cool that they have so many people, but those people are also paid to promote them. So, I mean, it's part of the merchandising team too. So it's really, the label makes the product, I think.
All right. Tim, what do you think?
Closing it out with the label as well, because they wouldn't be merchandising. They wouldn't be promoting that product without that label. Mm-hmm. And that label is what resonates.
All right, the label moves on to the finals. Merchandising versus the square bottle. What do you think is cooler? Cailee, we're starting with you. The merchandising or that's iconic square bottle?
So that's hard because I feel like they're one and the same, but I think the square bottle is more recognizable. I think the merchandising is great, but the square bottle kind of takes it back to its original days. So,
all right. Square bottle goes up 1-0. Tim, what do you think? Merchandising or that square bottle?
I'm with the square bottle being cool because they've stayed to tradition the whole entire time. You don't get that famous and all that time with that same bottle, and you keep on repeating it until it continues to work. I think that's what matters first. That's what sets up all the merchandise right off the bat.
All right, Jim, what do you think? The merchandising or the square bottle?
Sometimes it's hard to go get your peers and say that they're wrong, but they're wrong. It's the merchandise. If you look at everything out there that Jack Daniel's does from a merchandise standpoint to get their product, their image out there, they do a great job of it. So I'm going to go with merchandising. And there's other square bottles out there, but there's no Jack Daniel's merchandise like they do.
Miss Beka Sue, merchandising is down 2-1 to square bottle. What do you think?
I'm going to go merchandising as well.
Merchandising. That means merchandising has now come roaring back. It's tied 2-2, the square bottle or merchandising. And I'll say this, I mean, merchandising goes across. I mean, the square bottle is part of the merchandising. There's things that they utilize that for, but they also use the whiskey itself for things like, flavorings and stuff like that. Or you can go to restaurants and get a Jack Daniel's steak or whatever it is, or Jack Daniel's hot wings. And the merchandising also covers, the things on the label. The man himself is merchandised. I mean, there's so much merchandising that happens with that company. It's just unbelievable. So, and I think it's just amazing what they do. So I'm going to go merchandising as well. That means after falling down 2-0, merchandising now finds itself in the finals. All right, here's what it looks like. Round number 7. This is for all the marbles, iconic label or merchandising. What is cooler? Tim, you're first.
Label. No stop and no pass and go, going right to the label because label? It's all built around that.
Yeah. All right. Goes up 1-0. Jim, what do you think? That iconic label or the merchandising?
Well, I'm going to have to go with the merchandising. I think they've done a fantastic job of getting that out there, whether it's on a label or on a T-shirt or on a car or whatever else. So I'm going to go with merchandising for sure.
Okay. Miss Beka Sue.
I'm going with the label 100%.
It means the label is up 2-1 over merchandising. I'll say this. I just made the case for merchandising, but I'm going to go the opposite direction this time because even though merchandising is bigger than the label, we're going cooler here. And that iconic label is so damn cool. I mean, it's just, anybody would in marketing would want to design something like that people instantly recognize. And it's just that cool. So I'm going to go the iconic label. Means it wins. It is the coolest thing associated with Jack Daniel's, that famous label, black and white. And you know exactly what it is. You could even take off all the wording and just leave the designs on there and you would still know what it is. If you're a whiskey fan for sure. It's
even if you're not, I swear.
I'd say a lot.
You could ask somebody that has never had a drop of whiskey in their life, and I feel like they'll know what that is.
They probably would. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. Coolest thing from Jack Daniel's. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Cailee, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me out at Leatherwood Distillery in Pleasant View, Tennessee, or Clarksville, Tennessee, and come follow me on Instagram at Cailee O. Baker and at the Bourbon Bakers.
All right, Tim.
You can find me on the Bourbon and Whiskey Tasting Events page on abvnetwork.com or on Instagram at SwyGuy2112.
All right, Jim.
You can find me on Facebook at Jim Fosdon, on Instagram at FozJim, FAZZJAM. We're working hard to get the ABV Barrel Shop open with Steve Akeley in Arnold, Missouri.
All right, Miss Beka Sue.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Miss Beka Sue, 1K, no C's.
All right. For me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website, abvnetwork.com. That's where we house all of our shows, all of our previous podcasts, 3,000 plus you can listen to. That's great. We've got our newsletters out there. We've got our shop out there where you can get merchandising and stuff like that. And so check us out at abvnetwork.com. Also check out ABV Barrel Shop and be sure you sign up and you get on our distribution list so you'll know exactly what we have as we send out an email every week. And we can also get on our text as well at abvbarrelshop.com. Miss Beka Sue, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd just like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review that includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. If you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right. Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
See you later. Bye.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Another friend of ours is the Goldstein family at Goldstone Mill. The Goldsteins offer a variety of heritage and heirloom grains to make the finest whiskeys in the world. Plus, they are more than just a grain company. They are truly consultants to make sure the grains they are providing to you or your business meet your highest expectations. Additionally, they work with mills around the country ensuring shipping is as low as possible for their customers. If you're a distillery, brewery, or even doing this at home, Goldstone can assist you. Check them out at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or check in via email at hello@goldstonemill.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's upcoming Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.